Well, hey there, you're on the internet, I have some free time, and welcome to the Triple N Network, where all you newbie nib nerds can find all the news you'll need. Let's look at an ink today, shall we? Now, today's ink, I had in cartridge form, but I don't anymore. Now I have it in a sample file, and that is Pilot Mixable Cartridges Pink. Oh my god. If you're familiar with my videos, you know that I hate pink. Like with a fiery vengeance. I know it doesn't sound like it from the tone of my voice, but I am so beyond caring. You know, like I hate this color, and because I am what is often referred to as a girl, I have constantly been given pink stuff in my life, and I hate it so damn much, and it's kind of just fed my hatred. But, yeah, if you're someone who likes pink, damn, this be pink. Yeah, it's intense. But yeah, the mixable cartridges, I think you get a package of 12, and then you get a bunch of different colors in it, and they're all identified by the little discs inside. So, yep. Okay, two pens I used were these. This is a Pilot Vanishing-Point with a broad nib, and this was a Pilot Kaküno. I was drawing it out. I just washed it and I saw that there was still some ink trapped in it, and so I was flicking it to try and like get the excess water out, and it stuck into it flew out of my hands and stuck into a cardboard box like a dart on a dartboard, and it screwed up the nib, and so the nib is no longer viable, but it is a Japanese medium, so more like most of my Western finds. Now, even though I hate pink, I do have some pinks. So let's compare them. Here's Pilot Mixable Pink. And here is Noodler's Qinshi Huang, which, as you can probably tell, the colors are quite similar. Qinshi Huang has still not fully been rinsed out of the pens that I put it in. However, pink, it's not as hard. Like, so difficulty of cleaning, if this was a 10, this is an 8. Pretty darn hard. Maybe a 9. It does weird stuff. I mean, it turns I can't even get into it. Anyways, Hope Pink, which is probably more in line with my pink of hatred. Dante Alighieri, which is almost a magenta, but it is kind of a pink. Diatramentus Ruby, which might very well be the same as Dante. And I included Jeroboam's Rose Cyclamen, because when you thin this out, because this is the only thing I use this for, I use it to make splattery postcards for people. When you thin it out, it turns this color, which is actually quite similar. When you add water, this turns to this. Oh, pink of nightmares. And then most people's Dragon's Napalm is pink, but mine is like crazy orange. So, I don't know. Yep. Now, let's check out the chromatography, which is pink, because there is nothing in this pink but pink. Now, here's how you're supposed to do it. You can definitely see where the drop was initially put, but a lot of it gets pushed up, and it moves a lot. And then here's where I let it dry, where you can still very distinctly make out where the dot was initially put, but a lot of it still moves, so yeah. Okay, thought I'd see what this ink could hold up against. Denatured alcohol, like always, did absolutely nothing, which is why I've dropped it from the tests. 1/3 bleach solution didn't do anything. Water got it moving. Ammonia pen flush, like bleach, it almost just seemed to piss it off and make it angrier. Hydrogen peroxide really got it moving, but then you've got all this pink on the move, and where are you going to put it? So, I don't know. Maybe just stick with water, but much vigor. Alright, paper test. Top down in density, Clairefontaine, 90 grams per square meter. Welcome to the pink of my nightmares. But if you love pink, this is such a pink. So, yeah. But the thing is, I mean, I've had these cartridges for a little over a year, and I was avoiding using pink because I hate pink. So maybe it doesn't age well because bad stuff happens. See this woolliness through here? You see the feathering in both of those? And pretty much everywhere else. And this is 90-gram paper. This is some serious stuff. And it's everywhere. It's not localized. It's not like, oh, this part of the paper is extra funky. No. And there's really no shading on here, which is really kind of bizarre. But anyways, the Japanese medium took 7 seconds. The broad took 12, which, yeah, you know it's aggressively seeping in when a broad takes that long. And yeah. Then there's this. And bear in mind, there's a bright light coming in this direction, so yeah, that's very distinctly there. And granted, the broad is very noticeable. But there are areas where the medium is quite noticeable too, so it's got some show-through problems. Now, because this ink was acting very aggressively and was sinking into the paper, it made it harder to wash out, but it still washed off a bit, and it dyed the page, and it got quite messy and started to feather and explode a little bit. Now, next up is Fabriano paper. It's 85 grams per square meter. It tends to be able to handle a lot of inks that Clairefontaine or even Rhodia can't, and this is definitely one of them. Now, this is something that this ink does, and I hope I can get this on. There we go. See in the scrubby, the bottom scrubby? See that gold sheen? Some papers can handle this ink, and they will give you this crazy gold and like gold and pink. I'm sure there are a lot of people who love that. Yeah, so if you're into that, maybe look into it. And it's in the writing as well. It's in a bit of a halo. Hope that comes up. The Japanese medium took 13 seconds. The broad took 24, which, you know, definitely is more what you would expect with a broad on premium paper. As I say here, no other paper came anywhere close to being able to handle this ink like Fabriano can. And that's including Tomoe River, and we will get to that. But yeah, so maybe there's some near echo. That was actually, I put that down on a water test, so that's not even from this necessarily. But yeah, it maybe some echo, but not much. You finally get some shading, but this pink is so intense and vibrant, it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, that's quite a mess. That is a big, big mess. But like I said, when you add water, it turns this other shade of pink. So, yeah. But, I mean, there's still some stuff down at the bottom, you know, at the center. So maybe if you had to recover that, I don't know. Now, next up is Rhodia, 80 grams per square meter, where once again there is no shading. Once again, it's gone woolly, and once again, it is gone totally feathery. And it's everywhere. It's in the medium, it's in the broad. It's just, it's just flipping the world the bird. It does not care. Now that Japanese medium took 4 seconds, the broad took 12. And, yeah, obscenely bad. Because this is 80 grams per square meter, it's ceramic coated, and we're getting near bleed through. I mean, granted, a lot of this is the broad, but even the medium's coming through too. It's... yeah, and there's, you know, no shading, no sheen, there's feathering, it's a nightmare. This water test is like, it dyed the page, but it's also kind of feathering and exploding. It's bad. Now, next up is Tomoe River, where you actually, oddly, don't even get as much sheen as we did on Fabriano. See, because it's like a microscopic halo around that. You get a microscopic halo around some other stuff too. You don't get a ton of shading. You do get some where you lay it on thick, but here's something that's going to wow you. Look at the I and the N. Look at the V, the vanishing point. You get feathers. This ink made Tomoe River feather, and it's in a couple of other places. I kind of wish I had circled it, but like that bottom T, you get some there, and that loopy, the bottom loopy. Granted, yes, the broad does have more of it, but you do get a little in that Japanese medium as well. And there were epic dry times. That Japanese medium took 20 seconds. That broad took 34. Also, this ink, don't get it on wood. Like the wood of my desk, like it started, you know, when I was writing and some of it seeped through and it got into the wood of my desk, the only thing that would get it out of the varnish on my wooden desk was denatured alcohol. Bleach wouldn't move it. I need a denatured alcohol. This is infuriating. Anyways, yeah, and also it's so bright that for me, this color pink is so bright, it's actually kind of painful for me to look at. But also look at this. It nearly made it through in a few parts. I mean, oh, yeah. I mean, I can't tell you another ink that did this under normal circumstances. But yeah, And then this paper loves to let ink slide away when you add more water, which it did, but it just slid it around the paper. So now it's just a big old mess. And look, even there it started to feather and explode. I mean, this is insane. I don't know what's going on. And for the next 3 pages, next 3 tests, I only used that Japanese medium except to write the name. So here's the world's worst 20-pound copier paper, which I bet you can figure out how well this went. Yeah, there's a lot of spread. I mean, look at the difference in line width there versus there. I mean, this looks more like a European medium. Definitely, and a generous European medium. It took 1 second to dry. There is utterly no shading. It's gotten very woolly. There's feathering. And there's a lot of bleed. I mean, and there's light coming in this direction. There, you can, yeah, no, actually I can read that. I can read that. And it rendered onto the page below in a couple of places on this paper. It's a nightmare. Yeah, water test. It dyed the page, and it kind of spread some more, and it kind of feathered, and it kind of exploded, but not as much as I was expecting. This is more absorbent paper, tends to suck the ink in, make it harder to wash out. I guess that's kind of what happened here, but you can see it did something weird to this paper. When I added the water, it warped it and made it turn funny shapes. I don't know what was happening. Now this is Mead Notebook Paper. It's physically thinner than 20-pound copier paper. You can buy it in pharmacies. They gave it to us at school. It's gone very woolly here. Lately, it's been outperforming the 20-pound copier paper, and it kind of has. There's not as much spread, not quite as much spread, but once again, there is no shading. Yeah, it dried almost instantly, or I should say soaked in almost instantly, and here, you can read that from the back. I mean, that's not even like echo or show through. It is like every single inch of this is so nearly on the other side, and it actually came through in a couple of spots. I forgot to circle them, but yeah. And this paper hates water. A lot of times when we add water for the water test, crazy things happen, and it kind of did. But again, absorbent paper, harder to wash out. But it did feather and explode, and it's starting to overlap, and that would not be fun. Now, lastly, is Moleskine notebook paper, which I hate because it's awful. It is my nemesis. It is the bane of my existence. I hate it. And an aggressive ink like this on paper that I'm pretty sure would figure out a way to bleed and feather with a pencil, not good. I mean, look at that feathering. It's hideous, and there's no shading. It's very woolly. It took 1 second to dry, which I can't really explain. The color of pink is, I am not kidding, I am not exaggerating, physically hurting my eyes. Writing these tests, actually, I remember it gave me a headache by the time I reached the end. Oh, that was terrible. And yeah, look at this. You can read that from the back, but also here was where it got all over my desk. It just everywhere. Got all over my desk. A bunch of different spots. I wish I could show you my desk, but my desk is a mess. Yeah, and this paper hates ink and it hates water, so ink plus water equals this disaster. But look, it's overlapping. And it dyed the paper. Blah, blah, blah. Now, there you go. There's Pilot's Mixable Pink Cartridge. I have biases. I try and be honest about them so that, you can take that into account when I say things against stuff. I hate pink, but I've found well-behaved pink inks. I just don't like the color. This one, I don't like the color, and I don't like anything about it. I mean, this behavior is insane. Granted, these cartridges are maybe a year old, but they've been kept in a light-safe box. It's not like I opened them and then, left them open. yeah, it's bad. If you're familiar with these inks, could you leave a message down below? I just would love to hear from you. Ignore my hatred of pink. It has nothing to do with that. I would just love to hear if this is normal. Or if you like it, can you let me know why? Like, what went wrong here? Besides pink. Anyways, moving on. For your consideration from the Triple N Network, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching. Bye.